Okay, let's dive right into this. You write a line of code, you hit run, and instantly, boom, text appears on your screen. It feels like magic, right? But what actually occurs in that tiny, tiny fraction of a second? Welcome to today's explainer, where we're going to completely break down the incredible illusion of that run button. We are going to follow a single command on a wild journey from human-readable text all the way down to microscopic physical switches. Let's get started.
Meet our hero for this journey. A single, highly readable line of code. Print, hello world. It's neat, it's elegantly structured, and it makes perfect sense to our human eyes. We understand the grammar, the parentheses, the quotation marks. We know exactly what we want the computer to do here.
But wait, here's the uncomfortable truth of it all. Your CPU absolutely cannot read a single word of that. It doesn't speak English, it doesn't speak Python, and it doesn't speak C. Actually, it only speaks electricity, raw machine code, binary ones and zeros. To a processor, our beautiful line of text is completely meaningless. So how exactly does our human-friendly code transform into the pure binary language of the machine?
To answer that, we're basically going to take an elevator ride straight down the abstraction shaft. We've got 4 main stops today: the translation paths, the operating system stage, the CPU core, and finally, the physical reality.
Section 1. The translation paths. Compiled versus interpreted.
Ding! We've arrived at our first floor. Now, before the machine can do anything, our hero code must be fundamentally transformed. And what's really fascinating here is that there isn't just one unified way to do this. It depends entirely on the programming language you choose. On one hand, we have compiled languages, like C or C++. These are translated entirely ahead of time into a standalone executable file. But on the other hand, we have interpreted languages, like Python or JavaScript. These take a vastly different approach, translating your code on the fly, step by step, right while the program is actually running.
Let's trace that compiler path first. It's a highly structured, multi-pass journey that happens long before your program ever executes. First up is lexical analysis, where the compiler scans your text character by character just to create meaningful tokens. Then comes parsing, which organizes those tokens into an abstract syntax tree to capture the grammatical relationships. Next, it runs optimization passes. This is where it cleverly rearranges your logic to run faster without changing its actual output. Finally, it generates human-readable assembly code right before an assembler converts the whole thing into pure executable machine code. Because all this heavy lifting is totally finished up front, compiled languages run incredibly fast.
But, what if you're using an interpreted language like Python? Well, Python doesn't do all that translation up front. Instead, it creates an intermediate format called bytecode. Now, bytecode is a compact, lower-level set of instructions. It's not raw machine code just yet. Instead, a program called a virtual machine has to painstakingly read and translate this bytecode into machine operations in real time, step by step, while your script is executing. This extra on-the-fly translation layer is exactly why Python typically runs slower than C.
However, modern engineering has given us this brilliant middle ground. JavaScript engines like V8 use JIT, or just-in-time compilation. This is a super clever hybrid approach. The engine starts by interpreting your code immediately for a really fast startup with basically no delay. But as your program runs, the engine watches. If it spots hot paths, functions you're calling thousands of times, it compiles those specific parts into fully optimized machine code right on the fly. You get instant startup and near-compiled speeds exactly where it matters most. It's a real game changer.
Section 2. The operating system stage. Preparing the way.
Going down. Let's take the elevator to the next level. Because even with perfectly translated machine code, the hardware can't just take over yet. When you run a program, your operating system actually creates an isolated process. It's kind of like giving your code its own private sandbox, ensuring it can't accidentally corrupt some other program's data. To pull this off, the OS divides up specific memory regions for this process. The stack tracks your function calls and local variables. The heap dynamically handles any random memory your program requests while running. And the code region? Well, that safely stores the executable machine code we just translated.
But the setup still isn't quite finished. You see, your user program isn't actually allowed to touch the hardware directly. Honestly, that would be a massive security risk. So the OS links in necessary shared libraries, like the ones needed to actually draw our Hello World text onto your physical monitor. And the ultimate manager of this whole operation is the OS scheduler.
It allocates precious CPU core time, constantly switching between dozens or hundreds of processes, often dozens of times every single second. It creates this beautiful, seamless illusion that everything on your computer is running simultaneously.
Section 3. The CPU core, the hardware heartbeat.
Okay, the OS has set the stage, so we are descending deeper now into the exact moment digital binary slams into physical silicon. Inside the CPU, everything operates on this relentless, repeating rhythm. Fetch, decode, execute. First, fetch. A special register called the program counter reaches into memory and grabs the next raw binary instruction. Next, decode. Intricate circuitry examines those bits to determine exactly what operation to perform, based on the chip's instruction set architecture. And finally, execute. The arithmetic logic unit actually performs the math or moves the data. Fetch, decode, execute. Over and over, thousands of times, just to execute our simple print command.
And this brilliantly illustrates how modern processors totally cheat time to go even faster. Instead of sequential execution, patiently waiting for one instruction to completely finish its fetch, decode, execute cycle before starting the next one, they use pipelining. Think of it like a hyper-fast assembly line inside the CPU. It's fetching instruction 3 while decoding instruction 2 while executing instruction 1, all simultaneously. Add in out-of-order execution, where the CPU dynamically rearranges tasks to maximize efficiency, and you have an absolute marvel of modern engineering operating completely invisible to your code.
Section 4. The physical reality. Billions of microscopic switches.
Brace yourselves. We are taking the elevator down to the absolute bottom of the abstraction shaft, leaving the digital realm for pure physical reality. Tens of billions. I really want to let that massive number just sit there for a second. Tens of billions. That is the number of microscopic silicon transistors packed inside a modern CPU. Each one is smaller than a virus. It is quite literally almost beyond human comprehension. At this sheer physical layer, every single process we've talked about today just boils down to this: transistors acting as simple electronic on-off switches. They physically represent those binary ones and zeros. They're precisely arranged into complex logic gates, and or not, to perform math and make decisions. And they are all perfectly synchronized by a clock signal pulsing billions of times per second. That is exactly what gigahertz means. A 3 gigahertz processor is toggling its physical state 3 billion times every single second. At the end of the day, it's just real electrons physically moving through real silicon, governed by the basic laws of physics.
Section 5. The developer's reality. Why this matters. All right, we've hit the absolute bottom. Now let's ride the elevator all the way back up to the surface. Why does understanding this deep technical journey matter when you sit down to write code? Well, the crucial point is summarized perfectly by this quote. Every performance problem, every mysterious bug, traces back to one of these layers. Knowing how compilers optimize code, why interpreters behave the way they do, and how a CPU actually pipelines instructions, it isn't just great tech trivia. It makes you a fundamentally stronger, more effective engineer. It gives you the mental model to understand exactly why your code performs the way it does in the real world. Which brings us to our final thought. Now that you know exactly what lies beneath the surface, from lexical analysis all the way down to billions of physical electrons pulsing through silicon, how does it change the way you see the tools you use every single day? The next time you hit run, I really hope you'll picture the incredible, multi-layered magic happening right beneath your fingertips. Keep exploring, keep building, and we'll catch you in the next explainer.